Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And let us read Shri Bhagavan Vacha Tata Padam Tat Parimargitavyam Yasmin Gatana Nivartanti Bhuyaha Tameva Chadyam Purusham Prapadye Yata Pravrutti Prasruta Purani Nirmana Moha Jita Sanga Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama Dvandvair Vimukta Sukha Dukkha Sanjnaihi Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayantata Dvandvaihi Vimukta Sukhadukka Sanjnehi Amudhaha Tad Avyam Padam Gacchanti. Dvandva, the pairs of opposite, and Vimuktaha. How can we get freedom from the pairs of opposite, such as the cold and heat? Does it mean that we become numb? Joy and sorrows, does it mean that we become non-responsive to the experiences of life? Does it mean that we take the loss and gain without any impact on us? Because we are extremely dull-witted, not understanding the meaning of loss and gain. What does it mean? So, Dvandavihi Vimuktaha means a clear understanding that this world is made up of such a fabric which has opposites as the foundation of its existence. Like the joys are definitely associated with the sorrows. Now, how this is and where this is? When we call somebody as beautiful, we already have defined what is ugliness. When we call someone as rich, we have already defined poverty. When we call something as important, we have already called something else as not important. Because any kind of labeling in this world automatically and instantaneously creates the opposite. So who is responsible for that? It is we alone. This is one way of looking at it and getting out of it. Second thing, Dvandvai Vimukta Sukadukha Sanjnehi. All the experiences are supported by us only. So, the joys are supported by us, the sorrows are supported by us, the gain, the loss. Now, the one who is supporting both has to be something other than the both. This is a simple calculation. Like the mind supports both good and bad thoughts. Therefore, the mind is someone other than the good and bad as well as the thoughts. And so on. Therefore, dvandvai vimukta sukadukka sanjnaihi means this understanding with which we live in this world. Further, dvandva, pairs of opposite, they come and go. So they are in a constant flux of change. And what is that padam, what is that reality? Avyayam, which is not changing at all. Means what? We focus our attention on the unchanging reality in the constantly changing phenomena of this world. And to attain oneness with the unchanging reality, what we have to do is do not get influenced by any pair of opposite. It happens, comes and goes, yes. Let us not give so much importance to anything in this world. Because of that, we are lost. This is the meaning of dvandvai vimukta sugadukka sanjnaihi gachanti amudhaha padam avyayam tad. Tad avyayam padam. Padam means what? Padyate iti padam. That which is reached is called as padam. What is reached through efforts and what is reached through knowledge is different. This very subtle thought that I am telling you, be extremely attentive. Mana moha, nirmana moha, jita sanga dosha, adhyatma nitya, vinivritta kama. For this, when there are efforts involved, we are trying to create a situation wherein we want to practice that I am not the body, I am not the body, and therefore I don't care for the body. Then jita sanga dosha, I have keep myself away from everybody, struggle. Adhyatma nitya, I practice meditation very sincerely, seriously. And anything anybody asks me, I won't say no, I don't want nothing. This struggle is not spirituality. The padam gachanti anavayam. Gachanti here is not reaching by crossing the distance. They attain this immortal state. This is not reaching by crossing time. This is not reaching a particular destination. Then what is that? Gachanti, gama dhatu, gatyarthak dhatu, jnanarthak, they are also used for knowledge. So, the other way now, nirmana moha, earlier this what I explained you is through efforts, doing sadhana. Now second thing, nirmana moha. When we are inquiring, is there any possibility, logic, justice which can support that I am the body? No. And if we really consider ourselves to be intelligent, then go deeper and deeper and find out how I cannot be the body, and this knowledge must be reflected in our experience. So what is the consequence of this? I am not the body, nirmana moha. The gross world and the achievements and failures of the gross world, they will be of no importance to me if I have started practicing and experiencing that the gross body I am not. This awareness about our own being, whether we are living as body or through body, is called as the practice of jnanam, knowledge, for nirmana moha. Now second, practice of knowledge for the Jita Sangha dosha. Jita Sangha dosha, Sangha dosha. Are we really attached to anything? See? We actually go in the company of a thing or a person only because we have that thing in us. Like they say, the birds of the same feathers fly together. So if I have music in me, then I will go and make friendship with Lata Mangeshkar. If I have dance in me, then I will go and make friendship with Hema Malini. Then if I have criminality in me, then I will go and make friendship with the politicians. If I have, let us say, spirituality in me, I will go and make friendship with the Babajis. See, Sangha. We go to somebody or something only because we have that thing. So Jita Sangha dosha means what? When we ourselves are aware of that these are the weaknesses, therefore I have to conquer myself, then we stop blaming the whole world. Jita Sangha dosha. Living in this awareness is Jita Sangha dosha. Third, Adhyatma Nitya. Adhyatma Nitya means what? Ever aware of our own independent, conscious, blissful existence. And this awareness gets lost when we are involved in the objective world. Or this awareness gets lost when we are under the influence of the conditioning through which we are functioning. So, Adhyatma Nitya is being aware of our own being, not being single pointed. No. Then Vinivritta Kamaha. Really, do we have desires? And what is this desire? Is something called as a desire like an object or what? Or it is just a feeling? So we come to know only when we feel ourselves to be incomplete, only when we imagine that something can give us happiness, then only that imagination is called as desire. So if we are alone imagining, then we alone de-imagine. Don't we do that? We only imagine this should be done that way. Then we say, no, don't worry about it, no, let us forget about it. So we ourselves disimagine. So Vinivritta Kamaha, all the desires are only the imagination projections of the mind. In this manner, when we start leading our life with all awareness, then we are amudhaha. So amudhaha tad avyayam padam gachanti. They go attain that unchanging absolute reality. Now, tad eva padam punaha vishishyate. Now this state of unchanging reality, yad gatvana nivartante, having reached where we don't come back, that experience of being eternally the same is further elaborated in the 6th verse. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. Tad dhama iti vyavahitena dhamna sambandha. So na tad bhasayate. Tad means what? Tad dhama. So tad dhama paramam mama. So vyavahitena, indirectly you have to take this yat with that dhama. So tad dhama, dhamna with tritiya vibhakti. Dhaman is the shabda, dhamna. So tad dhama. What is that dhama and what is the meaning of dhama? Dhama means tejo rupam padam. Dhama, this dha dhatu is meant to indicate brightness or the light. Normally, dhama is mistaken as a place only, like param dham. So, param dham means that is a place, but dhama means light. Therefore, tejo rupam padam, this infinite eternal light, na bhasayate suryaha adityaha sarva avabhasana shaktimatve api sati. Although the sun is able to illuminate everything in this world, and yet this sun fails to illumine the supreme reality. That is that avyayam padam. Tathana shashankaha chandro, so also the moon is also not able to illuminate this avyayam padam. And third, na pavakaha, na agnihi api, nor the fire can illuminate this absolute avyayam padam, unchanging reality. And therefore, yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. This is that dhama. Which is that dhama? Is this. Na tad bhasayati suryo na shashanko na pavaka yad gatva prapya na nivartante yach suryadihi na bhasayate tad dhama paramam mama vishnoho padam. So that is my padam, that is my abode, that is my state, that is my reality, that is me. Now this mantra will be reminding you of some other mantra. We have just now studied in our Shvetashvatra Upanishad. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyato bhanti kuto yamagnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Now, this is the Adhi Daivik meaning given by Bhagwan Shankaracharya. Because this Paramatma Tattva cannot be comprehended by the light of all the possible lights which are known. But this is not enough for the seeker to practice. So we go from this Adi Daivik to the Adhyatmic meaning. What is the Adhyatmic meaning? Na tad bhasayate suryaha. Tad dhama, that light cannot be seen by the sun. So what is the Adhyatmic sun? What is the subjective sun? The subjective sun is the vision in our eyes. Because sun is the presiding deity of the eyes. So, natad bhasayati suryaha means eyes cannot see him. And eyes are the sense organs. So, lakshanarthatvena, by taking these eyes as the lakshana vritti, and we include in that all the sense organs. Therefore, what will be the meaning, subjective meaning of this mantra? Na tad bhasayati suryo, na tatra chakshur gacchati. So, na tad bhasayati suryaha. Now see how it is. What is the vision? What is the eyes? Vision is expression of the mind through the instrument of eyes is called as vision. What is the mind? Expression of the consciousness through the body is called as mind. What is the consciousness? Consciousness is the expression of the absolute reality, and therefore beyond consciousness and inertness. So what is happening? We are going toward the original cause, and therefore the subsequent effects such as the vision, etc., are unable to illuminate this absolute light. This is one meaning. Natat bhasayati suryaha. Now this light is creating a lot of darkness in understanding. How? We get so much enchanted by this that when I was sitting for meditation, I had the vision of extremely bright light. Now what is that bright light that we talk of? यदि सूर्य सहस्रस्य भवेद युगपद उत्थिता, यदि दिवि सहस्रस्य भवेद युगपद उत्थिता, if there were thousands of suns to rise simultaneously in the sky, what will be the brightness? That was the brightness of this Paramatma. Now, this is the way mind can comprehend, try to comprehend. But what is the truth? Truth is something different. Now see, this I probably explained you somewhere. I am able to illuminate this pencil because the pencil is not self-illuminating. And I am able to see this pencil when this pencil is bathing in the light of the external source, tube light, sunlight, etc. Second thing, this pencil is illuminated by the eyes, therefore eyes are more powerful than the pencil. Eyes can see every color and form, pencil cannot see. So eyes have got more light than the pencil. Then we come to the mind. Mind can illuminate all the functioning of the eyes, whether the eyes are functioning properly or not. Therefore, the light of mind is more powerful than that of the eyes. Now, the mind's modifications are illumined by the light of consciousness. Therefore, the light of consciousness is more powerful than that of the mind. And consciousness is the manifestation of that avyayam padam. So the light of that avyayam padam is still more powerful than anything else. And therefore when we look at the sun, we may say the sun is so bright. But that so bright sun is illumined by our eyes. So our eyes' light is more powerful than that of the sun. See? Therefore, natat bhasayate suryaha. This becomes the subjective meaning, subjective understanding. Natat bhasayate surya, na shashankaha, the second thing. So, natat bhasayate surya means none of the sense organs can comprehend that reality. Then the second thing we try is na pavakaha. Let us take pavakaha first, then come to shashanka. Pavaka is Agni, the fire, and fire is the presiding deity of speech. And speech is the organ of action. Therefore, indirectly what is said, that none of the organs of action can hold this. And therefore, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vak gacchati is the same thing, na pavakaha. The speech cannot reach, the speech cannot comprehend. Now, these jnanendriyas and karmendriyas cannot go and comprehend the reality. Having told this, the third thing is, what is that this karmendriyas can do? Karmendriyas can go by crossing distances by the feet if it is far away. But the truth is not far away. It can go and hold it if it is other than us. The hand can hold the pencil. I can't say my hand is holding myself. No. So, The legs, the hands and all other organs of action cannot reach and comprehend, hold that object called as avyayam padam. So, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas failed. Then the third attempt we do is through the mind. And Shashanka, the moon, is the presiding deity of the mind. Manasa, Chandrama, Manasojataha. Presiding deity of the mind is Chandrama, the moon. So, na Shashankaha. The truth cannot be comprehended even by feeling. You feel, that divinity you have to feel. The other day I went to some place, somebody took me, Swamiji, our great Mahatma has come, you please come. And I went there. And there was one friend with me, he and his wife. So after we went, everything was over. He was telling Swamiji, please don't mind, I know you don't like it, but I have to tell you what you don't like. I said, what is that? You have told us to come here and Mahatma, we have come, everything is true, but he, what Mahatma? Worse than a rickshawala. I said, anyway, that is our spiritual practice, that we see Paramatma in everybody. Don't see Mahatma, see Paramatma, then it is okay. Paramatma can go anywhere. So Mahatma Sudurlabha, Paramatma is not Durlabha, Paramatma is everywhere. Now I said, what is that which you say that he is, you don't feel he is a Mahatma? He said he was only replacing the word. He was telling awareness has become an old word. Therefore it has lost meaning. Now you should practice feeling. You feel the glass. You feel the drink. You feel when you are tasting. And he was feeling and becoming filled. So, na shashankaha. The mind cannot comprehend this reality. See, na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, na manaha. Now see, the same thing, the same story we have seen in our Kena Upanishad. To that Yaksha, first of all, the Agni Devata went. Agni is the same thing, na Pavakaha, Karmendriya, Agni Devata went. Na Shashaka, Dagdhum, Ata, Tateva, Nivavrute. I cannot burn it. Then the second one was the Vayu Devata. Air, Vayu, is the Sparshendriya, by which we can touch the presiding deity. And therefore the Jnanendriyas failed. Then Bhagavan, Indra went. And Indra could not even talk, have a dialogue. So, when you see all our scriptures, wherever it is, whether it is this Upanishad, that Upanishad, this Bhagavad Gita, that Ashtavakra Gita, or Shiva Puran, or the Vishnu Puran, everywhere the same truth is told in different ways. And if we are really committed to the truth, we will never have obsession about whether I am a Ganapatya or the Saurya or the Vaishnava or the Shaiva or the Shakta. These are only the upadhis through which we are helped to do the upasana and discover the truth. So, natat bhasayati suryo na shashanko na pavakaha. Now, yad gatva na nivartante. Now, see what we have to do now. When you discard the colors and forms, when you discard the eyes, and when you discard the seer who was born through the eyes, then they are discarded, what remains? That is that avyayam padam. And yad gatva nanivartante. This we have to recognize only once. It is not a practice. Practice, abhyasa is only in the field of Prakriti, not in the Paramatma. Paramatma is one without a second. There is no practice required. Because this is not the knowledge gained through buddhi, through thoughts, through understanding. No. It is something like this, If you do not chant, I don't know whether you are chanting these days or not, if you do not chant in your regular chantings, Purusha Sukta, then Atharva Shirsha, and then Taittiriya Upanishad, etc. If you don't chant regularly, after some time, slowly you start losing that, you forget about it. What is the reason? Because it was a Bauddhika Jnana. Similarly, if you are doing some kind of asanas, and you stop doing them for some time, then you can't do them again. Like, I have stopped doing everything physical. No physical, even walking has gone almost to minimum. Once in a while I get chance to walk. And that day when I went and played, because the student said, table tennis, only for 10 minutes I played. Not much. And table tennis is not a huge, heavy game. And I have been playing a lot. Now only 15 minutes I have played, and it was enough to upset me for next 10 days. Because in Prakriti, Vikruti is bound to be, and to stop that Vikruti, we have to have Sanskriti, Abhyas. But yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama, once only we have to recognize this. So, tad dhama paramam mama. So that eternal light which is illuminating all the Jnanendriyas, all the Karmendriyas, the mind, everything, that having recognized, then there is no again coming back and living at the relative plane of existence. Then what happens? We continue to be in the absolute experience and play the game of relativity. Yad gatvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Now here the teacher takes up another topic. Bhagavan Shankara joins it in a little different way. Yad gatvana nivartante iti uktam. This is said that after having reached this param dhama, one doesn't come back. Nanu sarvahi gati agatyanta sanyoga viprayoganta iti hi prasiddham. Now it is very popularly known to everyone, when you go, you come, when you join, you disjoin. This is the law of this nature. So katham uchyate tadhama gatanam nasti nivrittihi iti. Then how do you say that those who attain, go to that dhama, they never come back? Please explain. Now see here, what is the basic thing which I just now explained to you? Dhama is taken as a place that you have reached there. Therefore this type of questions come in the mind. Because gati, when you sarvahi gati agatyanta, all the places that you reach, you come back. What you get, you lose. So, how do you say that yad gatvana nivartante? Now, shrunu tatra karanam. There the reason is said why it is what is meant by having reached this absolute abode, one never comes back. Now this is explained through the second most important topic on the spiritual front. So up to here, up to the sixth verse, we have been speaking everything regarding the world. What the world is, what is the substratum of this world, how we are caught up in this world, how we should get out of this world, and after you have got out of this world and reach the substratum, avyayam padam. See the word avyaya, which is used in fifth verse, is the same word avyaya used in the first verse. Urdhva mula madashakam ashvastam prahuhu avyayam. So that avyaya, which is the substratum of the changing phenomena, once you recognize that avyaya pada, there is no fall again in the relativity. This is what is meant. Because what was said by the Lord, Ashvatham avyam prahu yas tam veda sa vedavid. He who has discovered this unchanging substratum in this changing world, he alone has known the truth. And therefore, yad gatvan anivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So this eternal light alone is the truth. But instead of that, dhama, when we take a place and abode, then we have these questions. Now even if you take, dhama means knowledge, light. And if you mistake that light or the knowledge means knowledge through the vritti or the thoughts or the mind, so all that is remembered will be forgotten, and all that is forgotten has to be remembered. See? We can say that I remember you or I don't remember you. But can we say about our own being? The other day somebody phoned me, and so I said, hey, I am missing you a lot. But Swamiji, I am not missing you. I said, why you are not missing me? Because I am listening your cassettes all the time. So I always feel you are around me. Therefore I don't miss you. So that feeling that you are around me is only at the level of the thought. So knowledge, when it is taken a thought knowledge, it is likely to be forgotten. But knowledge of our own conscious being is a never forgetting factor. Therefore, when it is said, Yadgatvan anivartante, how it can be said? Because it is not the knowledge through thoughts. It is the knowledge itself of our own being. Therefore, Yadgatvan anivartante, having recognized oneself, there is no more mistaking again. Now how this can be understood? This is now said from the 7th verse onward. And here Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts another theme, another most important topic on the spiritual path. And that topic is, who is Jiva? So up to the 6th verse we have tried to understand what is the Jagat. Then we will see what is the Jiva. Then we will see what is Ishvara. And then we will say that who is the substratum of this Jiva Jagat Ishvara. And thereafter, Etar Buddha Buddhiman Syad. And when you come to discover yourself to be that substratum supporting the Jiva Jagat Ishvara, then you are Buddhiman, or else you are Buddhuman. And Krutakrutyaschya Bharata, then alone there will be fulfillment in existence, not otherwise. So, Yadgatvan anivartante. Therefore, it is not a Siddhalok. It is not going to the Indralok. It is not going to the Svargalok. No. You remain as you are. Mamai vamsho jiva loke. Jiva bhutas sanatanaha. Manashasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Mama eva amshaha. It is not vamshaha. One Mahatma asked me this question. Swamiji, you speak on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan himself said that Jiva is in his Vamsha. In his Vamsha, Bhagavan has no Vamsha. No, he said, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So, Mama Eva Amshaha. My fraction, my part alone, Jiva Loke, in this world of Jivas, Jiva Bhutaha. So how will be the sentence? Mama eva amshaha Mama eva sanatanaha amshaha, Mama eva sanatana amshaha jiva bhutaha, and Mama eva sanatana amshaha jiva bhutva jiva loke, having become the jiva in this, the world of the jivas, manashashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. These five senses and the sixth mind, he karshati, he attracts them in him. This is the meaning. Now let us go first what Bhagavan Shankara says and then go deeper. Mama eva paramatmanaha amshaha bhagaha avayavaha ekadeshaha iti anarthantaram. So whichever way you can understand the meaning of amsha, bhaga a part, avayav a limb, ekadesha located in one place, iti anarthantaram. So there are these possible ways of understanding the word amsha. Mama eva amshaha. Jiva loke jivanam loke samsare. So in this samsara, my amsha alone, my part alone, jiva bhuta. So who is the jiva bhuta? Bhokta karta iti prasiddhaha. So the bhokta karta, the sufferer, enjoyer, doer, etc. is sanatanaha, is eternally present in this world, in the samsara. Therefore, jivo brahmaivana paraha. Now, here Bhagavan says, what is the meaning of the amsha? Yatha jalasurya suryamshaha jala nimitta apaye suryam eva gatva na nivartate tatha ayam api amshaha tena eva atmana sangacchati evam eva. He gives a very beautiful example and a simile. The water in a container is reflecting the sun from the sky. So what we will say? That the reflection of the disk of sun in the water is the amsha, the part of the original sun. Mama eva amsha. Then what happens? For whatever may be the reason, if the water is totally evaporated, then what will happen to that reflection? Will it remain in the bucket? Where it will go? It will go back to the sun. When that reflection will go back to the sun, so will it again come back? It will not come back again. This is the example he has given. Yatha jala surya kaha surya amshaha jala nimitta apaye. When the water, which is the nimitta for the appearance of the reflection of the sun, apaye, when that is destroyed, then suryam eva gatva, it goes back to the sun, na nivartate tatha ayam api amshaha. This is the meaning of the amsha, the jiva, the chidabhas. Mama eva amshaha. Now tena eva atmana sangacchati evam eva. Therefore, this jiva, what he has to do now, what the reflection of the sun has done, when the conditioning in which the reflection took place, the water, when that water was evaporated, thrown away, disappeared, in the disappearance of the conditioning, the reflection also disappeared. If this is understood in the same manner, where is the reflection of Paramatma taking place? To appear as a jiva. See, reflection of the Paramatma takes place in the whole world in different ways. Like in the objective world, Paramatma is reflected as existence. Everything is recognized as existing. So, reflection of the Paramatma in the whole world as existence. But that does not create problem or jiva bhav. Now the second thing. The same Paramatma is reflected in the mind as a chidabhasa, and as a result of this, the mind becomes enlivened, and this enlivened mind is giving life to the body, and then the body starts functioning. So now, by whatever reason, if that mind is dissolved, there will be no Chidabhas. And when there is no Chidabhas, that Chidabhas will go back to the pure consciousness. Therefore, yadgatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. This is rightly said. So, Jiva is the conditioned expression of the Absolute, is called as Jiva. Now the example which I give every time, the conditioned expression of the man is called as husband. Now where is this husband? It is only in the mind that his wife is reflected. So he gets identified with the reflection of the wife in his mind and starts accepting himself to be the husband. And thereafter his samsara begins. This is how the Absolute, expressing through the limitation of conditioning and taking that conditioned expression as real, is called as Jiva Bhava. So once these conditionings are discarded, the truth is revealed. Therefore, na nivartante. Athava, another example is given. Ghatadi upadhi parichinnaha ghatadi akashaha akasha amshaha san. Now the total space and a part space. So part space is called as amsha, part of the total space. So, ghatadi upadhi parichinna ghatakashaha akasha amshaha san ghatadi nimitta apaye. When the part breaks, then akasham prapya na nivartate. Then the part space merges with the total space. And as a result, it again doesn't go back to the same part. Na nivartate evam ataha upapannam uktam yad gatva nivartante. And therefore, when the jiva recognizes his own essential self, he is not born again in this world, because the conditionings and the conditioned expressions are discarded once for all. This is how it is. Nanu, a objection is raised. Nir avayavasya paramatmanaha kutaha avayava ekadeshaha amsha iti. See, Paramatma is nir avayav, without any parts, without any limbs. Then that Paramatma, who is space-like, without any limbs or parts, how you can talk about amsha or the desha in one part? Because sa avayavatvache vinasha prasangaha avayava vibhagat. If we accept Paramatma as with the avayava limbs or the forms, then that will be disintegrated and there will be destruction of Paramatma, which is not acceptable. So how do you say mama eva amshaha? If Paramatma is infinite, infinite cannot have the part. Na esha doshaha, this is not wrong. Why? Avidyakrita upadhi parichinna ekadeshaha amshaha iva kalpitaha yataha. Because this is only imagination projected by the mind. It is not real. And therefore, we can always say ekadeshaha or amshaha. Darshitaha cha ayam artha kshetradhyaye vistarashaha. We have already explained this exhaustively in the 13th chapter. Now, such a jivo mad amshatvena kalpitaha katham samsarati utkramati cha iti uchyate. Now here see what is the most important. Such a jivaha mad amshatvena kalpitaha. See, jiva is kalpita, not real. What is the kalpita? Kalpita means projected, imagined. Now let us go little more deeper in this thought. Infinite is that in which there are no parts. However, we can always imagine parts. Who can stop us? That is what we have been doing. Space is infinite. We imagine north, east, west, south. And then we say that we have divided the space into 4 directions. And when we say this, the space hears and starts laughing. Similarly, the waters are continuous one around the globe. And then we have only divided that into different names. This is the specific sea and this is a non-specific sea. This we have only created. Then the map of India was totally different at the time of Mahabharata, which was including up to Afghanistan. That is how Gandhari was from Afghanistan. On the basis of this, there was a big turmoil in the political circle. Whenever a lady from the foreign land has landed in India, created problem like Mahabharata. So Gandhari was, Iraqi. She was married to this fellow. So that was the map of India, which was including on the western side up to Afghanistan, etc., and eastern side up to Burma and everything. But now see, as the time has gone, like taking a slice of bread and biting and making a shape, our country is now being squeezed into many parts. And this is where it's only LOC. It's only imagination. It has no reality. In short, in the infinite, parts are always imagined. Now to these gross examples I gave you. Now take the subjective experience. What is the subjective experience? Imagination. Man is the same. Now with the conditioning of his wife, he becomes husband. Now husband is a part of the man. Then with the conditioning of his parents, he has become the son. So one part of the man has become husband, other part of the man has become the son, the third part of the man has become the father, the fourth part of that man has become the father-in-law, the fifth part of that man has become the son-in-law. See? So do we mean that we really cut that fellow into pieces and then see, this belongs to the wife and this belongs to the son, this belongs to the father-in-law? No. Therefore, that infinite is as amsha, a part, and that is why jiva is only an imagination with the conditioning of these panchava koshas. And the moment you discard these panchakoshas, you discover your absolute essential self. And this discovery, once it takes place, there is no more falling back to the same relative jiva bhava. This is the meaning, yad gatvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama and mamai vansho jiva loke. So, what is said by Bhagavan here is perfectly right. Na esha doshaha avidyakruta upadi parichinna ekadeshaha. Because of the conditioning, we have to make some reference point and understand. Now see, for example, the second example I gave you, now the third example. Britishers were ruling the whole world for quite some time. As a result, they have decided everything about the world. For example, There is one place in Meghalaya called as Cherrapunji, and it is a Britisher who put his finger and said, this is the wettest place in the whole world. And that became a kind of a verdict. But if you go nearer to that place, there is another place which is having more rainfall than Cherrapunji. But as much Cherrapunji got the publicity, that by the other place, which is now also having more precipitation, is not recognized world over because the Britishers have told. Now when these Britishers were this ruling, they were deciding everything. So, for making the clock, what is the point of reference is the sandwich. Isn't it? Greenwich is a place where Sandwich was born. You know, Sandwich was the name of a person. And how the sandwich came into existence is this. When he used to go for work, instead of taking a normal British breakfast, he used to take the present form of the sandwich, put them together and carry with him everywhere. So therefore it became known as sandwich. So Greenwich became a point of reference. So the earth is moving, imaginary point Greenwich. Space is infinite. So there also in the space where imaginary point is fixed. So from that imaginary point in the space, when that Greenwich keeps on moving and comes back to the same point, that is called as 24 hours. See? Therefore, in the infinite, the finitude is always imagined. This is the rule. So in the Ananta Paramatma, this infinite reality, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, all these three things are only the conditioned expression of the infinite. Therefore, Ekadesha Amsha Iva Kalpitaha Darshitaha Cha Ayam Artha Kshetradhyaya Vistarashaha. We have already explained to you how Kshetradnyam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. When we have studied that, how the Kshetrajna is not the Jiva, Kshetrajna is the Parabrahma Paramatma, the Jivatva is only Aupadhika, and that is not of any consequence. Now after having said this, and yet again the story continues. What is the story? Now such a Jiva Katham Samsarati Utkramati cha iti uchyate. Now how this Jiva goes from one life to another life, this is said. How? Manashashtani indriyani shrotradini prakriti sthani swasthane karna shashkulyadau prakrito sthitani karshati akarshati. Now this Jivatma, when with his five sense organs and the mind, Prakriti Sthani, the various structures of the sense organs, there he attracts all the faculties from the totality. Be very attentive. This thought is very, very different than what we have been hearing now. See, like the sounds, waves are present everywhere. But we are not having the capacity to hear all the songs which are broadcast. Then we invoke that capacity by purchasing a radio. And in that radio there is a capacity to catch akarshana, those sound waves, and we can hear the music. If this is understood, in the same manner, all these faculties are in the samashti. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. If you remember how the whole creation, Avyakta, then Mahat Tattva, and then the Asmita or the Ahankar, then the Ekadashendriyani, and then the Pancha Tanmatras and Pancha Mahabhutas. This is at the samashti level. Now from that samashti level, availability of all the faculties, this jiva prakriti sthani karshati. In the eyes he attracts, pulls the vision. See? When the body is dead, the eyes are open, but there is no vision. What is the reason? Because the jiva is not there to pull that faculty of seeing from the totality, and therefore his eyes are like only the dead bulbs. This is how the jiva is living in the body. So when he enters the body, first thing that he does, he pulls all the faculties and becomes faculty member. So how this happens? When he pulls all the sense organs and all that, kasmin kale, this is said in the 8th mantra, shariram yadavapnoti yajjapyutkramati ishvaraha gruhitvaitani sayyati vayurgandhani vashayat. This story is like, you know what? I remember to have told you the Bharud written by the Eknath Maharaj. If you remember, on the tip of a thorn there existed 3 villages. And in the 3 villages, 2 were barren and 1 did not have any population. Now in that village there were 3 pot makers. 2 were dead and 1 was not alive. And they have made 3 pots. And 2 were not cooked and 1 was raw. And they had 3 children, boys. And 2 were dead and 1 was not born. And they took those 3 pots to sell. They went to the market. On the way they came across 3 rivers. 2 were dry, 1 had no water. And then they sold it, the pots, and they got 3 rupees. Dono khote ek chale chana. 2 were fake and 1 was not useful. If you can understand this story, you are wise. If you don't understand, you are otherwise. Naturally, nobody asks any question. Very nice, very nice. This is the story of this jiva. When it is very clearly said that ekadesha amsha iva kalpitaha. So when the very jiva is kalpita vastu, where is the question of going to hell and heaven and then doing this and that? See? Therefore, our approach is freedom from this I, not freedom of I. Otherwise you will go like the story goes. Then what happens to this jiva? Yaccha api, yada cha api utkramati ishvaraha. Now see what is said. Jiva is basically ishvaraha. Mamai vansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Now yaccha api yada api utkramati ishvaro dehadi sanghata swami jivaha. So the jiva is basically Ishvara. Therefore, dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam ruksham parishashvajate. Tayo anyaha pippalam sadumatti anashnan anyaha abhijakashiti. Asansprushta upadhi vishesha purusha Ishvaraha. See? When we are functioning through the conditioning of Panchakoshas and do not become victimized by the limitations of these Panchakoshas, the Ishwarya, the Ishwaratva in us is invoked. Therefore, Jiva and Ishvara, they are not two. This is what was said also in the 13th chapter. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Don't accept this in-between step of Jiva as the real. So, yaccha api yadacha api utkramati ishvaraha dehadi sangata Swami jivaha. Utkramati means he leaves this body. When he leaves this body, tada karshati iti shlokasya dvitiya pada arthavashad prathamyena sambaddhate. So when he leaves the body, that time he pulls all his faculties from that old body. And shariram yadavapnoti jachapyutkramati shvaraha. And yadacha purvasmat sharirat sharirantaram avapnoti tada gruhitva etani. So when he has left the last body, while leaving the last body, he collected all his sense organs and the mind and put them in a suitcase and left that body. And after having left that body, now he is entering another body. And purosma sharirat sharirantaram avapnoti tada. When he leaves the last body and enters the another body, tada etani gruhitva, taking all the faculties with him, manashashtani indriyani sanyati samyak yati gacchati. He again enters that new body. Now see how the story has become enchanting. Those three sons went for selling the three pots. Everything looks so beautiful. So the jiva, he leaves the last body and with the faculties he enters the other body. If you have seen, the pictures and the demonstrations done by our ISKCON people, go and see how beautiful they have done. What they have shown, that the small baby as in the womb and comes out and becomes like that, and then old age, and after the body is dead, then the soul comes out, jiva, and goes into another one, and there are many options. Where do you want to go? I want to go in the pig's body. It is there. Go there. And this is how. Now this is one point. If you understand it properly, your all fears of death, of kartrutva abhiman, papa, punya, everything will disappear. And this is what I have been emphasizing in and through everywhere, that jiva bhava is just a phenomena. See? Like, expression of light through the bulb of this electrical energy, it is a phenomena. Therefore, when one bulb is fused, nothing happens either to the electrical energy or to the expression of that energy as light, because the principle, the phenomena is never destroyed. In the same manner, body, when it is capable of expressing the consciousness as mind, the body becomes enlivened. So this is the general phenomena. That's it. And when the body is not capable, then it cannot express the mind, and as a result, the body is declared as dead. That's it. So where is the question of any jiva over there? See? Once you get this point clearly in your understanding, you will see that this is a phenomena universally seen. It doesn't matter what body it is. Whether it is a human body, there also the same phenomena. And according to the human body, expressions are different. If the same consciousness is expressing through the body of a snake as the mind, then what will happen? Then according to the functioning ability of that snake body, that life will be expressing through that body. That doesn't mean that the snake jiva and the human jiva, they are to be different. No, kalpita matra. Root it out right from the beginning. Then you will see your approach to life, your spiritual progress, everything will be different. Then you don't have to struggle to get I want liberation. Discard this I. That is the basic culprit. And here is the authority. That is why this 15th chapter is the most enchanting one. So, shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati gruhitvayetani sayyati vayur gandhani vashayat. Now, when these stories are told, then the crying kind of approach is, dekho, Bhagwan ka amsha hai jiva. And then what? Then we should be, don't lead that life of hina, dina, no. See, amritasya putraha. We are the expressions of the infinite. So let us remember that infinite, not the expressions. See, the moment this goes deeper and deeper, you will see the change in you. And that change is yadgatva nanivartante. It will not change thereafter. Otherwise, papoham papakarmaham punyoham punyakarmaham. And the whole life is spent only in that. The other day somebody was telling me, Swamiji, I am so bad, I have committed many sins. I said 2 more, doesn't matter. After that, take a cup of tea, remember me, everything is all right. You don't know what sin I have committed. I said, I don't want to know also. What is it? No, I want to tell you. I said, okay, tell. I went to Siddhivinayak temple. Yes. And I don't know what happened. I was chanting Sri Krishna Sharanam, Sri Krishna Sharanam, Sri Krishna Sharanam. And I am going in that Siddhivinayak temple. And when I came out, then I realized, now what will happen? I said, now beware, the rat will come. And he will take away. What he will take away? Your computer. Isn't it? Therefore, all these weaklings, they are caught by the Mahatmas. And then they say, hey, here is a good victim. Then they go. बेटा, तुम्हारे तरफ देख के ऐसे लगता है कि तुम्हारे जीवन में बहुत कष्ट है. Every person has problem in this world. There is nothing new about it. And when you listen, oh, Mahatma Ji probably he knows. Now, if you are a married woman, problem is husband. If you are a married man, problem is the wife. If you are a parent, problem is the children. See? And then, Mahatma Ji knows everything. He is just bluffing, taking a handful of stones and throwing. One will definitely eat. And who are victims? The weaklings. Therefore, please remember, when Bhagavan says, Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke, he is focusing attention on the infinite, not on the Amsha. When we say north, east, west, south, we are not talking about the part. We are talking about the space. Therefore, Gruhitvaitani Sanyati Vayur Gandhani Vashayat. Now, when he goes from one body to another body, how he carries the faculties with him? Vayu Pavanaha Gandhan Iva Ashayat Pushpadehe. Just like the air carries the smell from the flower, etc. So what the air does not touch either the good smell or the bad smell. It only throws the smell here and there. Air is always the same thing. In the same manner, this jiva doesn't carry any sense organs here and there. This is the phenomena. It is happening. Like, when the electrical energy goes through the steel or the iron, then only magnetic circle takes place. If the same energy goes through, let us take a fridge, then it will not take. This is the rule. So it will happen like that. The more we understand this, our understanding will change our spiritual practice. Our understanding will change our attitude towards life. Remaining we will continue in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.